I got to figure out what I'm going to do today. I got some topics. You know, wow, they got 50 state protests. Okay, we gonna do something today. I'm gonna put this thing down. See what I got. I get this thing lined up. See how y'all doing? Close that part up. I'll load this thing up real quick. Come get this thing. Okay, so I got this poll coming out here real quick. We're gonna talk about that George Foreman thing. See what we got going on. Got this world premiere coming. Get everything consecrated. Gonna bring it to you. Make this thing all tropic hilly. See what I got. I got one more to go. Anyway, we live and clear. Um, on now. I didn't send out the people check out the notifications. I hope that you come on. What's potato potato? What's up? Where you coming from? What's up? Got somebody called potato potato. What's up? Please hit the like and hit the poll question and let me know where you're coming from. And also, I know George Foreman is known all over the world. Aye, 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 aye. Anybody that either had access to his boxing career or had a grill or both. So let me know. I'm on here today. That's what we're gonna be doing. What's happening? How you doing? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yeah, I thought I would ask this question. There's some people who only know him for the grill. There's some people who mainly know him for his boxing. Some know him for both. So we taking the poll. So thank you for coming through. Glad to have you come through, Charlene. Thank you. And I know that by you being here, that at least gives me 1 hour. Somebody be here to actually talk to me and have conversations. We had a good rapport yesterday. The weekends was good. Yesterday was incredible. Let's see if lightning gonna strike twice. So feel free to take the poll question, hit the smash up them likes, and let me know what you got on the itinerary as we are here in the scenery. Well, Bessie Smith predated Nina Simone. Nina Simone did do a cover of Sugar in My Bowl, which was a Bessie Smith song. Bessie Smith was like a precursor to Biggie, like Pearl Bailey, anybody. You think about it, Bessie had a rawness about her, but she had a soul blues about her. Ain't nobody's business what I do. Donna Ross did it for Lady Sings the Blues. Bessie was that was a Billie Holiday influence. So Bessie was like, if you listen to Biggie stuff, go back and listen to Bessie Smith. Nina was a more kind of like a John Coltrane, like a complex, hit you in different variations. But yeah. No, she was before. She was before. She was influenced to Billy and all them. She was before. She predated them. And Nina Simone did cover it all before the 30s. We talking like the teens, 20s. I remember first time I heard Sugar in My Bowl was like way back. I was in, and I thought, wow, because you don't think about that kind of material coming out 115, 20 years ago. Yeah. If you listen to some of them old records, they had some stuff in them. Queen Latifah did her in a movie, but she can't even really capture the essence of her though. She was something else. Mm. Anyway, appreciate everyone coming through. Feel free to hit that, smash up that like. Oh, we'll research it, but I read about her in high school. She did, and she was some. Her subject matters was pretty risky. I told you. I remember listening to her. This was in the '90s, and I listened to her stuff. I listened to her box set, and I was listening to Biggie, and it was a trip. And this was talking about, you talking about 70, 70 years apart of styling. It was crazy. Oh, 80 years apart. What's happening? Thank you, Calvin. Welcome back. Um, Marvin Gaye. Smokey was the better songwriter, but Marvin Gaye pretty much clears the decks with him. Everything else, Marvin got him beat for me, but Smokey was the better songwriter, and that counts for something. She did. Josephine Baker, all of them did. The burlesque was on back then. Ain't nothing new under the sun. It's just that it wasn't as conglomerized as it is now. Might have been. That ain't nothing new either. Ain't nothing new. It's just that it's been worded in a way. Hollywood's always been about dually. Mhm. Show business is about showing your business. Read between the lines when I say that. Ain't nothing new. Could have possibly been. I wouldn't be shocked because Because a lot of stuff that you see, anything went down. It ain't nothing new. You know, I always tell people all the time, booty for looty, cheeks for checks. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. The only thing is the names change, the technology changes. But the Hollywood casting couch and how they get down, Aretha. But I love them both. But Aretha got a better catalog, a hit wider for me. But I love them both though. Huge fan of both of them. Cause they're on my two of my. If I had a female R&B Mount Rushmore, they on both of them on there. But I gotta give Aretha her due because she just hit more with them songs. Got the catalog. Gotta give it to Aretha. But Gladys is not that far off though, for me. Love them both though. You coming strong today though, cause I like how you. Good topics. Look, I love them both. It's just that I'm a song guy and versatility and the whole nine. As much as I love Gladys, but it was a reason why Aretha was called the Queen. There's a reason why Aretha could take your song and flip it. Gladys was soulful as all get out, and she was a stylist. But Aretha was dominant. That's a good one, and I love them both. And they both got something in common. They both were on Stax Records once upon a time. I gotta go with the Emotions. That's my favorite female R&B vocal group ever. And I love the Staples because Pop Staples and Mavis are incredible. Love his guitar playing. Mavis bad, but I gotta go with the Emotions. You know. Yeah, I know. But I listen to both of them. Though. My mama bought all them Aretha records. But listen to both of them. It's just that when I bought my box set, the Aretha Franklin box set was the best box set I ever owned. I sat there and I was thinking, wow. And she worked with different producers and stylists. And remember, she was gospel. Her Amazing Grace album, she did the opera with Pavarotti. Rose is Still a Rose with Lauryn Hill. She always found a way to reinvent her thing. It came to her. You know, Who's Zooming Who was 40 years ago. Jumped to it with her and Luther. Now, don't get it twisted. Last night had some bangers with Leon Silvers. Say the overtime for me with the Pips. I mean, she had some jams, but I just something about Aretha, the voice, the songwriting, the musicianship, the whole nine. I gotta give her a slight edge. But I love Gladys though. Don't get it twisted. And when I get asked questions like that, I do think them out. But unlike Drink Champs, I never have no drink. I pick one of them. Yeah, I'm in the crystals. 3 degrees. I like the honeycombs. Yep. I like the honeycombs. One has was a tight cut, but I go with 3 degrees. I love that harmony. 3 degrees were like a smooth version of what the emotions did pre around that time. And that harmony, I liked it. It was real silky and smooth. But I only like it like for the hits and stuff. I couldn't listen to them a whole lot. Where's the emotions and stuff I could listen to? I did like the honeycombs. That was a tight cut. Verdine White's wife was in the honeycombs. What's up? What's up? There we go. About time you come, man. Now I got at least a couple hours, so that way we got a chance to really kick it, man. You have been missed. I've been putting you on a milk carton. I put you on a milk carton like they put Bronny James for the first 3 quarters. You know how you be on a milk carton until the garbage time come in? Um, Zeppelin, because John Bonham alone on drums tears up Lars Ulrich. Robert Plant, Jimmy Page he got James beat. There's nothing that Metallica does better than Zeppelin, so that's a no brainer. Better catalog, better feel. Um, because the kid is kind of slow, and he might be better than whatchamacallit they traded to the Cowboys. but it's kind of like the same thing. Trey Lance. It's kind of like a better version of Trey Lance, but not worth the headache. And they've been getting something about him that seems like he's just not picking up, or he's just kind of slow, or he's nonchalant with his attitude. I haven't heard he has that Anthony Richardson disease of not sleep. I don't like this one, but I gotta say U2 only because they got better songs. But I saw I did a video about that too. You should check out my video. I did it. I like the Clash, but U2 have more variety. But I'm not big on U2. I'd listen to the Clash more, but U2 got them beat. Yeah, I remember the Delegation song. I love that arrangement and that harmony. That was tight. Yeah, but I heard, and then I did a video about it. In my video, what I said was, he ain't angry. He ain't done nothing to be angry about because he does everything to suck up and shuffleboard. He just said that. I did a video about it. There's nothing angry about Stephen A. He loud, but he loud in a way that he just kind of crying wolf tickets. That's all. He ain't gonna get fired. They don't like him because they know he put a lot of people on the bus. Look at what he did to Max Kellerman, and there were others too. You're only gonna hear about that from here. I'm not gonna get into all, but he is a company man. Um, well, when you say McCartney and Lennon, they weren't. They were with the Beatles. They didn't do a duo, so we're going strictly duo. It's Hall and Oates. If you asking me about songwriting, it's McCartney and Lennon. See, so now if you say Hall and Oates versus Longins and Messina, okay. Well, no, you just said McCartney and Lennon. He didn't say the Beatles. He just said because McCartney and Lennon were songwriters. Yeah. So, no, he did. He did. He did. It literally with that American flag when he won the gold, because he literally did a little. You gotta look at the video. He was a two stepper, and that's one of the reasons why Ali called him out and clowned him. He did change to an extent, but look as a fighter, and he was a brother. Like because he earned his keep with the whole thing with the grill, and I did have respect for him. But yeah, he. You see that video with the little flag, that big old like, and well, if you're talking songwriting skills, it's McCartney and Lennon a blowout. Depends on what you're talking about. Because if you're talking about the group, yeah. Oh yeah, Dream was a big song because that's the song that Biggie sampled, Pac sampled, everybody sampled that. They have riffs that have built careers. That's why I hold Elder Barge and High Regard, but never really respected their own scary talent. He should have had a Michael Jackson, Prince, Lionel Richie, Whitney Houston, Janet type of career. Elder Barge. Ray Parker Jr. type too. Even anybody that was big in black in the 80s, he should have he because he's like right there with him, and he had hit songs, but he didn't have that career to match that. If that makes sense. But the songs have lasted. It just didn't, and that's the sad part about him. Cause that dude's bad. He broke that as a kid too. Please hit these likes up too. By the way, feel free. Glad the polls coming along. Feel free. Oh yeah, Ted. I mean, look, I loved him as a fighter, but most of those cats were kind of shuffleboard, if I'm honest. Most of them. Because you got to remember, they from the hood. A lot of them were hood cats, fought tough and all that, right? So they go to Trump Plaza Tower, get some money. And you got to remember, they not used to that world. So very few of them came in with the articulation. And most of them didn't come out doing like Floyd Mayweather did. Okay? Or Sugar Ray Leonard for that matter. Just think about it. I'm keeping it 100. Some of them cats came out like bucks. Oh, it was. I think you did this one, but it's Mary Jane Girls because they had the better songs. Look, I love Nasty Girl. It was a tight cut, but Rick James' songwriting was better as far as that goes. It wasn't even close because the Mary Jane girls were they had the vibe. Now Vandy was the better as far as the front goes, yeah. But if we going by what the material was, it's MJG. MJG. Yeah, that's what it come down to. Because Prince didn't really give them a lot after Nasty Girl. That was like they cut, and they had some cuts. They had some cuts. And like I said, had a cut was tight, but you know, and I liked her too. I liked her a whole lot back in the day. I used to have a poster on my door. Oh, Kareem, yeah, man, that was a trip I seen. I had both of them on my door actually, but the Vanny one was the one. Everybody loved Vanny. Apollonia, but everybody Vanny was the one. Oh yeah, the old Kareem episode, and you know that showed you how racist his character was, because that dude was not Harley. They didn't like she brought home Mookie, and that was a trip. I was like, you really got all bent off of him. That was a trip. But hey, that's how it was growing up in some places. You in the wrong neighborhood with the wrong situation, somebody will talk real English at you. He sure was. Had a little S curl sitting up there on that man's couch and looking at him. He said, Kareem, don't come back. But I remember it like yesterday. I remember that a whole lot of guess who's coming to dinner, guess who's coming to the neighborhood. That is real. Of course she did. Italian girl, that's real common. That's a lot more common than people think. Especially if your daddy's connected. It happened to a relative of mine. He was on the run because he got involved with one of them girls, and her family was connected, and they had a bounty on him. So I remember that. For me, it's war, more versatile. Now John Fogerty was a bad boy, but it's war. Eddie Brickell, all that. War was ridiculous. Meaning they coming for your dome. Happened to a relative of mine. Yeah, he lived, but he had to be on the run. He went underground. Oh yeah, you get in the family and some go wrong. Yeah, it was real. I ain't stutter. I said bounty. I like him. Good singer. Third tierish. Good singer. He was scared. That's what he was trying to. He was trying to kind of act kind of, but he had to be. Yeah, yeah. That's real, yo. I got family in New York and Jersey, so I know, and that is real. Wrong neighborhood, and cats don't be playing it. Even though the hair and the vibe is dark as us, but it's real, yo. Kid you not. I'm not gonna front. Oh, what's happening? How you doing? What's happening? No, he ain't knock her up now. Oh, I told you. Yeah, I mean, he was dominant, yo. The thing about it is that what he did was, yeah, you know, that thing was a monumental situation. I mean, like yesterday. As a matter of fact, if you watch the More Money, More Problems video with Tiger Woods, I mean, with you watch the video with Puffy and Mace, Biggie song, they were dressed up like him. I know, but I did a video. I think I don't know if I did a video about it, but yeah, I talked about it. I didn't do no video about it. I know that's all in the family. That's why Tiger's black now. You remember he went to the White House for Black History Month, and they said, oh, "Am I African American?" And that's his way of mm, crack me up. If if it was the funky Billy Ocean, it would be closer. But because it's the pop, what he ended up on taking Alexander O'Neal. But he said, "My, at Black History Month, they had it at the White House, and he had Tiger up there, because Tiger was in there full of black folks. Put the little necklace around his neck to get the commemorate. It was hilarious because he was uncomfortable as all get out. You can look at the footage, crack me up. because they friends, you know. Love Heat Wave, one of the baddest underrated bands. Alexander O'Neal gets the win, but if Billy Ocean had stayed in that nights like us, that nights like this, I feel like getting down, it'd have been tougher. Well, Tiger, the Masters was not. They didn't allow black folks in there in '90. He did speak out about it. Heat Wave. I like Foxy, but Foxy ain't got no songs on no Heat Wave. Heat Wave had a better catalog. They were catchy, but Heat Wave had a weight. Johnny Wilder, come on now, not even close. Hmm. Um, he, yeah, and he felt he was outspoken. There's an old video Tiger with where he didn't sound like he be that Coca Cabana stuff he's talking years later. He was very on that Bruce Leroy tip. No surprise, the college basketball ain't what it used to be. So you're not going to just run roughshod no more. These teams are pretty evenly matched because everybody shoots threes and they play a zone. So you know you can catch somebody catching you. It's fun, but the days of someone just running roughshod in college basketball is done. He wasn't like that always. There's a video of him when he was a kid. He was talking about race. He was racist. But what happened was when he got some money, he did that dumb GQ interview, and he was starting making jokes and stuff, and he just sounded like a clown. And he made himself cornball, and that's where he went. Because there was a time he actually was speaking on something. He did. There's footage. I seen the video of it. But then when they put him on GQ and they paid him, he got all light in the loafers. He's like, well, oh, no, that's what happened. I think that he just didn't fit. She knew what she was doing. Duran Duran for me, because Duran Duran is actually had a formula. And you think about it, they all broke up. They had hit songs. They had a balance of songs. I like Robert Smith, all right. The Cure was cool, but Duran Duran had better the musicianship, the songs, versatility. Wake Me When the Cure does a Notorious or something, or Skin Trade. And Simon LeBron never did get it going on as a solo career though. So Hendrix, duh. Look, he ran circles around Clapton. Uh, Clapton been stuck in the '70s with them beer lights. Hendrix bad, yo. Hendrix changed the game. Everybody was pedals. The cats used pedals and Guitar Hero to what he was doing with his bare hands in his head 60 years ago. Let that sink in. Power Station. I liked Arcadia, but Power Station with Robert Palmer with that Tony Thompson on them drums. I like how they groove. Some like it hot. Sport movie? Ali, but that's not saying much because Ali was kind of dull and dragged on, and Will Smith dragged on. I didn't really feel no chemistry. I thought Jamie Foxx did good. I think I liked him as Howard Bingham. Big George was a nice film, and I liked it, but it's not one of those kind of films that I'd run back to go see. I don't know how many left-hand guitarists you know, but he bad though. He did. He changed his styling. And I remember it was a time I was at Barnes and Noble and they had a magazine they talked about. McCartney's a bassist. He ain't no guitarist. He's a bassist. And Kurt Cobain was more of a songwriter. I didn't really feel him much as a guitar player. Not like that. And not to be put in the same sense with no Jimi Hendrix. As a songwriter, he had good poetic. McCartney's a bass player. He can play guitar, but that's not his strong. It's more about the bass. That's a good question there. Ooh, that's a good one. I gotta only say Pierce because he was more of a leader. That's the only reason. Jamal was a better pure scorer, but uh, that's a good question too because Jamal Wilkes is definitely slept on, no doubt. And I might make a video out there for future, but I'm going to give it to Paul Pierce because of what he did. He did run that Boston team, and he was a leader. And his heart and soul, But that is a good one. Cameo on a blowout. I do love Let It Whip and what is it? That other one they had. They had a medium cut, pack jam. That at one jam, that at one cut, but it kind of was a one trick pony. They could play joystick, yeah, but I like cameo blow 'em away. That's not close. That's a blowout. Dad's band was decent, but cameo. Um, NBA. And when I say a joke, I'm talking about they they put your G League. Watch if Bronny ever gets in the hall, G League, Q League. They make up stuff to put people in. MLB is embarrassing, but when you say a joke, it's that because the NBA put anybody in the wild. Call Me was my jam by Sky, but I did like Real Love. Somewhere between the two. Yeah, if you care about it, I mean, you know. Did you see that thing about Wayne Gretzky though? I have to. I'm thinking about doing a video about that. Let me know if you saw the thing about Wayne Gretzky. Thank you for mentioning it. Yeah, I might do a video about that. That's that people taking it seriously, and he picked the wrong time to be down. They do. Yeah, that was nasty. That was nasty. No, so his statue in Canada, somebody put dog mess up on it. They got it all spread on the up on the statue. I saw that. I was like, ew, because he's associated with Trump. Yeah, the cars. Um, yeah, I was a kid when he was big. They passed mad at him. They took that thing personal. I was like, wow. But you know, yeah, well, he's very middle of the road cat. Um, and especially with everything going on now. That's why cats are better off not saying nothing about politics. You learn. You remember how people get mad at Michael Jordan? You better off not saying nothing because you can't win in some of these instances. You just not. The cars because I like their grooves. I thought Rick Ocasek had better cuts. Simple Minds was catchy, but I like them better. I guess, but you know what? It's hard for college basketball guys to get the same conversation because it's a different situation now. You know, I mean, obviously, it's not the same. You know, now if you gave him everything to work with, he did make hip hop. He was used by the Izzo, but well, Gonzaga lost again, so I hope that tells you. You know, as watered down as it is, yeah, because now you don't get guys to play more than a year or two, so yeah, and plus everybody plays the same now, so yeah. Pearl Jam, STP was cool. Scott Whelan was cool, but Vetter and them, and then last record they came out with wasn't bad, yeah. And I'm not the biggest Pearl Jam fan, but yeah, they got them beat. They got them beat. Yeah, I like that one too. And shake it up, dance all night. I like the cars back in the day. They had some cool synthesizer jams. Yeah. Don't forget about me. Some of mine was all right, but I couldn't really groove to them like that. The cars more for me. Cinderella teams are gone because there's no real teams to really get excited about, and usually it's usually the big teams that win anyway. Last time we had a Cinderella team that went all the way and won something, you know. So Gonzaga's been a Cinderella team for like 50 years and they ain't won it yet. So there you go. All right, keep on hitting the likes up. We're definitely getting a lot of the poll questions. It's a good question so far. So we'll see what we got. Let's see. I just got somebody just put something on real quick. Depeche Mode. The New Order had that Blue Monday, which I liked a lot. I did like that one, but Depeche overall. Outside of those guys, Oscar Robertson, and he never got his totality with it. To me, and I would say Kareem too. Those two, the original. Tony, because they made better records. Guy had the better start, but it didn't came and it sunk. And it's a trip out when you ask that because Teddy Reinhardt and Aaron Hall were like front runners because people were either trying to sound like what Teddy had as far as sound and vocals of Aaron Hall, but it didn't last long. So Tony got it. They made better. She didn't have to. They always looking to nitpick something with her. Pretty much. It's always SGA. I done videos left and right. You watch my videos, I haven't changed. I said SGA. I think the reason why he didn't win last year is because of association with Josh Giddey. And I think that that was a problem. And Adam Silver said, make sure they don't get no calls. If we got to hand the trophy out, don't. Yeah, we know about Angel Reese catching the hate. We already know. We know what it's about. You know, strange things happen in the NBA. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown, they come off the mind. I like Mike Brennan. I like Jeff Van Gundy. Those four. Marv Albert. Yeah. Nucleus. Cause jam on it. Because Maurice Starr was a bad dude. And of course, when he went on to work with New Edition and went on with New Kids on the Block, bad dude. Oh, that's a long list. And a lot of them were on Monday Night Football. Basketball is a couldn't stand JJ Ridiculous. Um, that's a long list. Planet Patrol's out back then, but Nucleus for me. I thought his uniform was more Africa because the black jacket was dressed like Africa, black green. That's what I thought. He did because Peter Vesey used to talk crazy. I remember it like yesterday, and he dominated. And Fuzzy Zeller came out with that racist remark. Fuzzy said, "Don't make sure you don't feed them them watermelons or whatever they eat," because he had them shook. He That's why they made that thing tiger proof. He tore that course up, tore that course up, and they changed the length of it because he was just wail. He wailed them. He wailed them. He wailed them. New Edition. No one's beaten New Edition usually in the last 30, 40 years for me. I like Troops dancing and they could sing because the Stephen Russell did a good Michael Jackson type of thing, but New Edition got him beat everywhere. It's not close. More soulful. I'm giving it to Tina Marie, but I'm gonna say that Mickey Howard was one of my. I did like her singing a lot. She would be considered a double Junior Whopper Whitney, but I do like Mickey Howard a lot. I love the way she did Until You Come Back to Me, and then I loved how she did Love Under New Management. She just didn't have enough songs to complement what she had, but she got the goods though. She just never got the push and the right thing. And it was a lot of politics. She talks about in the interview. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I already, yeah, I didn't. I think I alluded to that. I talked about the LAPD. Yeah, they all been crying. I let them cry. So y'all wanted him. Y'all got what y'all want. You cried for it. Make it work. Get out there and party now. No, no, she's not. Cause Tina Turner, no, Tina Marie was a white female artist doing her style of music. She had nothing to do. She wasn't. She made a name for herself. When I say a Junior Whopper Whitney, I'm talking about a variation of an artist that was successful, and then they go clone. There was no other Tina Marie. There was no other Tina Turner. So you got your lane. Rocket 88. But some people, but Quincy Jones will tell you Lionel Hampton because if you listen to Lionel Hampton's vibes, they did have a groove to them. Blondie for me, versatility. But Tony does what's her name? Tony does the lead singer of was good though. He ain't. You could say that, but the problem is that he ain't had the talent around him either. The Big Ben did. He ain't have no Jerome Bettis. He ain't have no he ain't had a coach that know how to complement his talent. It's a big difference what Big Ben had going from Bill Cowher to Tomlin. Dak ain't never have no coaches like that. So there's a lot of things that he ain't had. Oh, Jackson Five for the W. The Barge was the songwriters and all that, but the Jackson Five got him beat. Better songs, and Michael was Michael. That's the thing. We can almost put anybody else there, but then he's a triple wide. The Barge because of the songs, even though Bobby was bad, but the Barge had the songs. Well, Motown, that's what it was. Motown was huge. The Barge. You listen. If you take Mike, listen. Jermaine was bad, and Jermaine had a hand in bringing the Barge. They were real poppy. It was almost like how do I say it? I'm a huge El DeBarge fan, love DeBarge, but it was almost like they were poppy and white style vibe. Like they were, it just kind of had this. Because his writing was so great and his singing was, but some of that stuff was, some stuff they had was corny. No, they'll never be. And I call your name, Charlene. Look up Switch. You'll remember them two songs because Bobby the Barker. No, I'm gonna tell you something. Elder Barton with Hood. Don't let the perm, the good hair, and the high pitch fool you. There was some there was some rough riders. I knew some chicks who dealt with them. They put holes in walls. Them cats was thugging. Okay. I know you can't imagine it because they had that bad switch movie with the bad wig and them cats was hood. Elder Barge is hood. He was hanging out with DJ Quick and them. He hood. Don't let the good hair, don't let the long hair fool you. Hood. Yeah. Black and Creole. Because it's called his last name is the Barge. Yeah, they'd have to have black everything. Yeah, but it's all black at the end of the day. I mean, French Creole with some white, mixture. But they were raw though. Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, I tried, and I do like the hockey jerseys and stuff, but um, I fall a bit, and I know, Sidney Crosby. I know the names and stuff, but it's just that it don't too white for me. I'm just keeping it 100. Just too, and because it doesn't promote enough. They got some black commentators, but they have never done anything what I call totality of promoting. And I remember, but they didn't do enough to really push the sport. You know. But I got respect for them. It's hard to bust your butt in hockey. You ice hockey, you gotta be good. You gotta be really good. Yeah. I heard about him, and as a Sabres, you asked me this one yesterday, and I told you it's the Bee Gees, and I do love Casey and Sunshine Band a lot, but it's the Bee Gees. Better songwriting. Casey bad though, as far as writing out with him and Rick Finch with the bass and them horn parts, but Bee Gees got him beat though. Better songs overall, but I love them both though. that's one of the reasons why I don't watch it. Cause see, there's no way to protect yourself in hockey. What's happening? Yeah, I dig them both, but it ain't nothing been hard for me to pick though. I always got separate. I can always pick something. I've unlike when I watch Drink Champs and they say both, I don't get caught up in that because I'm always thinking catalog, music, production. Well, they doing what they can do because no, again, they don't have he don't have no protection with that. That's why. If he's a low key cat and he don't exude nothing. Yeah, I did follow the Sabres and the Sabres when they had that infamous game against Dallas back in '96 and got the things took. One thing about hockey though, I will give you this about hockey though, TSP. They will fire your butt. Like me and Ted always joke about Jeff Fisher Price cat sticking around for 50 years and suck. Kind of like the Bulls coach, Billy Donovan. Hockey don't play that mess. Your butt can be gone in two or less. I saw that. Did you see them chicks at that, what's that restaurant? And the girl said EAGLES. I was cracking up. He got trolled. He was out recently. It's after the Super Bowl. Got trolled. Well, only because he plays for Dallas is why, but they can be mad all they want. That's what they sign up for. Okay. All right. Please keep on hitting up the Shalimar. Come on now. The Mac Band only had that one song, Roses Are Red, and with Bailey and Babyface. But Shalimar was something else. That's not no discussion. Especially the original with Jody Wiley, Jeffrey Daniels, Howard Hewitt. But I did like Roses Are Red, but no, that's not even that song. That's not enough. They need defense. And their coach need to get off his butt and stop pulling that Luka Doncic and play start the season, not come in fat. Cause that's the problem. They always slow and they don't get their thing together and then they wake up. It's like 10 games a season and they barely miss the. This just always got bad starts, and that's been a problem. Oh yeah, he probably did. He probably couldn't stand him being, you know, guy. Managers got egos too. Delgado was bad. I hadn't really thought about that. Janet because of the career. I like Jody a lot. I like Jody a lot, but Janet because of the career, more impact. Um, well, roses are red. Probably did, but he was good. You know, Toronto always has bat power. It's just that I heard something, but I didn't really go. But they always trying to say something. But no, he was good. Yeah, she came out first too. But the problem is that it took Janet to blow up, and then they gave her a shot. But you know, I like her though. But you know, no, he ain't. He just did the interviews. He ain't doing nothing extra. It's his daughter that's pushing him out there because he deserves to have a voice in a forum. Why wouldn't he? I mean, he ain't gonna Howard Hughes himself. They wish he would though, but he's not gonna go underground and not speak. He's doing a lot in Oakland for the community, so no, he ain't gonna. But when he talks, you better listen because he can still tell you about strike zones. He can still tell you where the groove is at. He ain't lost nothing. Yeah, she did. The biggest thing he put on himself was mainly about his attitude, how he was nonchalant with him, and he pretty much told him, that's the real thing. But as far as but again, stuff ain't. It's like you're gonna love this because I got a future video coming out about Albert Bell versus Jim Rice, and I got a future video. You got to be a member of my thing to see it early, but it's already done. And I talked about it, and come to find out, there ain't a lot separating them. Jim Rice had to wait, but just telling you that it's a lot of politics, yo. He is. People in no respect him. Oh, A Rod's gonna get him because he's doing the commentating, and he's got some ownership with the Timberwolves. They're gonna subtly, I think, subtly, because as a broadcaster, they'll find a way. Not necessarily. I think uh, Jody got them beat. Jody got them beat. No, Jody Wiley worked with Andre Simone, okay, who was Prince's right hand. Janet Jackson worked with Jan Lewis, the time. So it made perfect sense. The groove. Jody a better singer, but there's groove based music. I don't know what he is, but I just know there's a lot of. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they what it was is when I did my video, it was more about loose ends moved me more. I did like Alice, I Want You for Me. Full Force is a songwriting, but I think loose ends had some stuff though. I like loose ends better. So was scary. Well, interesting thing about Albert Bell. I did the video. It's coming out, future video. And there's not a lot there for him and Jim Rice. Actually, he had three more home runs than Rice and more RBIs behind him in batting average, but not by much. Rice had a longer peak, but their numbers are pretty much identical. So it's just that it's got to do with him off the field while the haters are there. Oh yeah, I do him. Yeah, he was leaping. He was on a whole different level, and they ran him out. All right, good question here. For me, I'm gonna take Robert Palmer because I loved his versatility. But Winwood was a bad boy as far as playing and singing. I like his playing, but I'm more Robert Palmer kind of moved me a little bit more. But it's a no brainer. It's a no wrong answer with either one of them. I like them both. That's a good one right there. Nobody gonna sit around and lie about something like that. You gonna listen to Kurt Schilling? He got fired from ESPN for trying to pull a Rush Limbaugh because he just embarrassing himself. He always doing too much, and he always trying to like journey. Even though Boston came out strong, love that sound. But Journey had better catalog, better singing, better. But I love Boston sound. But Tino, because he was able to expound, and Calipari won that ring, and he was on that Jeff Fisher tip for like 30 years. Patino though was able to get it done. Hmm. Yeah, back in the day, a lot of top tier talent. But Patino with Louisville and Kentucky, wherever he go, he did more. We know about that. And his son is New Mexico. Hmm. You Know How to Love Me is my favorite Phyllis Hyman song. That could be doing it right there. Um, Huge Jeffrey Osborne fan, but you can't beat George Benson's versatility. George Benson got him beat versatility. George, but I do like Jeffrey Osborne, but George Benson a bad dude though. Oh yeah. Ain't no sunshine when she gone. Hmm. Um, I'd say Izzo for me. I like Roy Williams, but Izzo moved me more. Well, there was a TV show, and there was, of course, Ozzy Osbourne, who had a big career. Sharon Osbourne is a so-called journalist, and the two kids, and it was pretty big for long. So yeah. No, um, it's one of them situations where they want you to act a certain way. It's got nothing because it can be because they want you to ghettoize you. So there's a lot going on with that. Drexler because he had more going on for his game, but David Thompson was a bad man. Doing good. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Um, David Thompson could spring, but Drexler had a better game. That's how I look at it. And I like them both though. We never got, we never did get a lot of David Thompson out of what he had. He was something else though. Oh, I did a video about it. I was talking about Josh Bump and Grind Giddy. He had Luca all. They're not a good team. And I already had a discussion. The Lakers aren't a good team. If you know how to flip them on the perimeter and get them in the box, they in trouble. They can't beat no team that can move like that. It don't really make no difference because everybody wins in the right now and then they lose. I really want to see the people what the choices that comes in terms of the line and stuff like that. Gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, he did. Am I supposed to get excited about that? I had some Giants fan tell me that on Facebook, and I said, "Look, oh yeah, you're gonna get them 4 wins now and that one tie, and a lot of good funny commentary. You were stuck with Danny DeVito. He's an old 30. Okay, he's an old 30. Jameson ain't gonna turn into Geno Smith. If you do, you better start testing him. I don't see it. He's entertaining. You might consider get dropping, putting the mic on. Hmm. But as far as the football career goes, I ain't seeing it. He's got talent for both sides. Listen, if you are battling for the third spot in Cleveland, you suck. Okay, I gotta call it. And he's a funny dude and entertaining, but if you are struggling with Cleveland, you suck. Cause that's embarrassing. And I like him too. Bobby Womack for me as a singer songwriter, and I like Joe Texas a whole lot. Big legs and all, a big woman. And he was funny, and he was one of the few dudes who could go toe to toe with James Brown because they had some real throwdowns. But Bobby Womack always put the stuff down. Not tough for me. Barkley because he was more charismatic. Elvin Hayes never. He was the wrong person at the wrong time. Houston beat UCLA. Him against Kareem. He never had no. He was kind of like the Larry Holmes of basketball players. That's a shame too, because numbers and he played some places that had names, but he just had no personality. Personality worked against him, and sometimes it is a popularity contest. Well, because you get a guy who's talented and he's in the main situation, but because he doesn't really sell tickets, people kind of like, oh yeah, they went at it. That stuff was crazy with James. No, he should consider retiring and then go hang out with Sierra, because unless he won't be a cheerleader, because it ain't there. It ain't there. When Mel Kiper loves you, that's not good. No, Joe Test could hold his own. He wasn't no James. He could sing, skinny legs and all. He had range. He wasn't no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Because he had James's respect. She ain't gonna do nothing. Starting back in Motown. Oh, where do you start? Well, you start when they started having hits. When Holla Doja Holland was hitting or Smokey was hitting. That's where you start. I don't bump with no fat. I saw the video. It was hilarious on Soul Train when that big chick bumped him and knocked him down. He was cool though. He wasn't like James in the sense of emulating that style. He had a certain style about him. Chic. Let me see what that says. What this is. That's all I want to bump. Yep. Rams got him. Yeah, I did a video about that. It's a good pickup. When I tag in a post reference video, I probably should have asked for it. It's okay. I don't mind. Okay. That's okay. Yeah, Chic because Chic had better songs and everything. I do like Taste the Honey. They had some stuff, but Chic. Come on now, Rogers, Bernard Edwards, Tony Thompson, and singing. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep. But Lou Rawls didn't play no guitar, as far as I know, and good singer though. That was a no brainer though, Ted. That's a no brainer. That's kind of like obvious. As a matter of fact, if you don't reject Aaron Rodgers, you don't even get the job. He was he was one of them old Geechee brothers. You would say borderline, and he was all about Snow City, but he was a country cat. He's a loser, kind of complicated cat, industry cat. Steve Wonder, of course. Let me answer this about Devin Booker. You asked because he is kind of like fitting the narrative of a guy that he scored points, and they pushed an agenda to make him more than what he was. They don't hold him accountable as the team do. They still got this finite hope that they want him to, thrive no matter what. Stevie in a blowout. I like Elton John a lot, but Stevie, come on, Stevie got him beating everything. He did. I love Lionel. Lionel got brother in him with the skeeky, but then he got that. Yeah, he definitely got that Hollywood vibe going. It's the stuff that he subjects himself to. Ain't no way in the world that man should be on no show with no Katy Perry judging no talent and getting $15 million less. And I'm not in his bank book, but that's embarrassing, especially when you got his catalog. Because Blake Shelton and Katy Perry combined couldn't carry Lionel Richie's mustache. Okay, and that shows you right there how embarrassing stuff is. Because he has to kind of like stoop down to feel like he's one of the crew. Stevie wouldn't do that mess because he knows it's fake. Bill is only doing it because they've been coming down at him. That's all that's about. That's got nothing to do with him doing the news. And plus, he's kind of between a rock and a hard spot. They want him gone. They don't have. They're not going to get a proper asset for Durant because Durant is washed. And Brad and the book is the only one that you can really get a bunch with. So Bill is just like holding them up. So I don't think Steve Wonder would have taken his talents to no idol. Film was cool, and they had some chemistry. She was all on him though, and she helped push him. For a moment, she was all up on him. Allegedly, they were friendly off, but what he did on the screen, but she was definitely all on him though. Jesse, I never cared for Mars Day's solo career. He with the time he was as a front man, yeah. Jesse got had better respect as a solo artist. Mars got personality, but it just didn't really register to the records. She had much. She did more than she usually do. Seen it all. Seen it many times. Listen, I'm a Michael Jackson fan, so I watched Michael. So I watched that stuff. Like Willie Draper was personally picked by Michael to portray him. Draper passed away. Yeah, watched that thing many a time when it came out back in '92. You gotta remember something. If I talk about somebody being dominant watching them, I've watched the stuff. She could say enough to sound like somebody. I tell you, yesterday it's all about Run DMC. The Beastie Boys had a good run, and I did like Brass Monkey, and they had some big successes, but it's all about Run DMC as far as that goes. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Well, if your name on the street is Big U, there's chances are you're gonna get U-turn, YouTube, U-turn. Latest sports page. Appreciate you coming through as always, and thanks for all your support, comments, words, everything. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. They suck. What you mean thoughts? I know Andrew Wiggins went off last night. They broke that 30 game losing streak, and he looked good, which he's good for one every, what, 15 games? They suck. Ain't no crossroads. It's called break it all up. Spo can still coach, but you got to part ways with a lot of the C. And Pat Riley might consider going ahead stepping down. It's just a bad look. It just explode. So I tell you, but you can't trade Bam because you where you gonna trade him to? And you know it's gonna be hard to get the value for him. Then I trade in Tyler. 8 Mile is staying. Charlene's bad. Charlene knows her stuff. She been on here with me for quite a while, so she bad. He should step down if they don't make the playoffs. Yeah, and the fact with Jimmy Butler went to Golden State and see what Golden State's doing with Miami's. The Miami's gotten worse without him, and you can't depend on Kevin Love at this stage at 58 to save you. And you just got a bunch of cats that are. What's happening? How you doing? Good to have you in here, Philly Mob. What's up? Good to have you. Problem is that he can't reel in that big fish that he's been talking about. That's been his whole mantra. It's not no hot take. It's kind of like a fact. He ain't been able to do it. Phil Collins had more catchier songs. Peter Gabriel's talented dude. Phil, but it's close though. No, he just generating the offense. That's all. Miami doesn't play defense. He coaches out the window, and they just look like they're looking for something to come in, and they got blindsided by Jimmy Butler, but they really been comfortable, and they know they're not really, so they need somebody big. Mm, it's hard to say because again, it depends on who they go to, depends on the system. I don't really get excited about that until I see certain things. It's not on life support. It's done because when they jumped the shark to join the Splash Brothers, that's when they were done. So I like UD, but they're not. Uh, they're not. They're nowhere near to where they need to be. They're nowhere near where they need to be. But it wasn't like this situation. Mind you, they had Ray Allen, Dwayne Wade, and Bosch. They had athletic bigs. They had balance of team. Not like this. They don't have nobody that you fear. Who you worried about? They got guys that I hate to say it because I said this about the Bulls. Oh yeah, shout out to Raw for Sports because they was talking about the Bulls in there, and it was talking about Kobe White. Anyway, the Bulls to me are an auction for a better team to go to, and that's what the Heat got. They basically be an auction. They don't have. It's not a. If you're not even an average team, you're just an auction team. Yeah, and that's gonna get your butt almost fired too. Tyler Hero ain't gonna get you where you need to get. Just saying. So Spo got. mm, He got the bag, but it's just not good. It's tough being a Heat fan right now because I know they're not that good. Yeah, but if he does this two more times, it won't be. He get this year and he'll get another. But if he does this into like 2028, he'll be on the hot seat. And I think he wants to move up to Pat Riley anyway. I think that's what the plan is. He's gonna be built in. Bill Withers, and I love Hathaway vocally and all that, but Withers got him beat for the songs for me. And I love Hathaway a whole lot, but Bill Withers was like that dude that was he was like a link between what Bob Dylan was doing and Smokey Robinson, I would say. The guy was a poet's poet. I hold Highway Hathaway in high regard though. No, he'll step down. I think he's getting his message. But greatest holiday song ever, Hathaway, and I like a lot of Hathaway. Hathaway's a soulful cat. It's just that Bill Withers it's just another just I think he hit better. Um, he just hit harder. That's all. He hit harder, and that the problem is that he can't do nothing. They need to move. For me, this is easy. It's Culture Club, because aside from you spin me round and round, Time Clock of the Heart, Miss Me Blind, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? They had the little ska thing. They had Karma Chameleon, bigger songs. Boy George would be three times bigger if they came out today. So his preferences ain't got nothing to do with his talent. He had a little bit of a soulful vibe, which we liked back in the day. Tell you something. You come along with first of all, let me tell you something, Charlene. Most of the artists are something for pay, for stay, for some way. So that kind of is not really that surprising. It's just that the way he was layered up at that time, but yeah, no, but no, the talent was the songwriting was there, the music was there. That's what we like. We went with the music. Renee and Angela, yeah, I liked them. Pete Burns was, but that's not why people, the music was there. That's all. But, like they stuff. One of the worst was is two of them. One time, my grandfather he went to get his medicine, and I was supposed to wait for him. I'll be good. They'll sing I'll be good, and I was supposed to wait for him, and I didn't. He had an orange belt. Got home, and I like leaped up, like tore my behind up. And then my grandmother, it was my other grandmother, Houston. Um, she had a chocolate cake, and I played with it. What I did is I took plastic bat and laid it down. She went and got a switch. My butt toe up. So that was the two. Those two the worst. That was the norm back in the day. People don't understand now. It was normalized. Oh yeah, back in the day, and one of the worst ones I ever got was by my mother because this is one reason why today I don't even mess with taking no baths. I just do showers. Tore my behind up, and it had the hottest hot water, and you had to kind of like lay subtly, 1 foot at a time. That thing was painful. So those were the days, yo. I think it was. I know I got in trouble, and oh man. But you gotta take that. You take that beating every day. You take that over getting grounded. Grounded was worse. But anyway, no. Culture Club had better songs. Dolly Parton with the songwriting. Patsy Cline had a great voice, but Dolly Parton had more impact, I think. But it's close though, because Patsy was bad though. Oh yeah, that would get your behind toe up, especially if you messing with the soap opera. That definitely is a no. There are certain things you don't mess with, especially when that VCR era was in full effect and they taped it. Oh yeah, they don't care about no wrestling. As a matter of fact, you get your butt toe up so bad that you threw your own self into a turnbuckle. You would never, you almost watch it again. Oh yeah, yeah. I can soberly see that. I imagine, especially when you mess up them soaps, because they gotta work and then they come and that's the one thing they look forward to. I like the Young and the Restless back in the day. And I did watch General Hospital, but those are the two. So, so true. Keep on hitting these likes up. I was trying to understand. Boy, yesterday we were rolling. That's okay. I'm not tripping today. Just seemed like yesterday we had this crazy group though. Oh yeah. That was the old. Everybody had access to you back then. That's how it was different. Different day, different time. Different day, different time. Yeah, my parents tag teamed them. This was way back, and it was because I had a chain that had my name on it, and I wasn't supposed to wear it to school, and I did, and it fell out of my pants pocket, and then I was in the car ride. My father, he ain't say nothing. It was real, had a funny feeling, and then I got home, and then I got the tag team, so I remember that. Yeah, Angie and Eugene. Yep. Lennox Star always had some storytelling. Once they did Secret Lovers, then everything was kind of like they were talking, they were pulling all this out. So they said the views stay up today. I feel like I had more people coming through, but probably not today. I never got no trouble with that. I did have a funny story. One time, my father was actually doing substitute work at school, and I was in the hallway because I got in trouble. And he walked up on me and said, "What you doing in the hall?" And I said, "Oh, it's just a misunderstanding." I don't know how I talked my way out of it, but I did. I got grounded after, and I couldn't stand ground. I wanted to get the whipping. They gave me an option. I'm take the spanking. Heart. The Go-Go's was cool, but Hart, Ann, and Nancy Wilson was the truth. Love Barracuda, love their grooves, their vocals, their versatility. It's not close to me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, well, good. I'm getting all this stuff though. What we got right here? 42% box. Okay, we'll get taken away. Nah, I didn't even have all that. What's up, man? How you doing, man? Glad to have you on, Nate. What's up? What's happening? Thank you for coming through, man. Nah, I didn't have no problem with no video game. I just no. But when I got in trouble, everything went off. There was no on. Barracuda's my jam by heart. But alone was cool though. Nah, I didn't get that luxury. Okay. Thank you to White Wall for coming through. What's happening? Fabulous Thunderbirds. You trying to get me on a real obscure one? Because Big Country had a moment or two, but then the Thunderbirds were. I like the guitar groove of that song back then. Let's see. I don't know about that. Now he was good, but he wasn't that. If he don't drop that pass by Eli Manning in the Super Bowl, he might been. He catches that ball that was thrown in his chest and he dropped it in that Super Bowl. He may have had a argument. They would have had an undefeated season, but he dropped that one pass. He may have had an argument, but we'll never know. That ball went right through his chest. Because I remember that pick six against Peyton Manning. They didn't win. They lost the AFC Championship game. Then in the Super Bowl. So, what you mean, Kansas City? Talking about the city? No. He been taking. He had a sucker. He had a sucker contract anyway. He. They need offensive line. You get your butt beat up like they did in that Super Bowl. The offensive line. That's all that's about. That's about the line and some defensive moves. They need to. He had to make some personal moves. They probably told him, said, "You like going these many trips? You gotta do this." And so, yeah, I think they will. Caravan of Love was my favorite Highland Isaac Jasper. That was my favorite one. I did like Look the Other Way. They should, because all the gimmick he's about to catch up with them. They should. We'll see. But then again, they should have a chip on their shoulders. But gotta stop the gimmicks because that's what keeps costing them. This is a good one because if I go by totality and everything, it's going to be Using my criteria, I'm taking the Commodores. If I go by the musicianship, I'm taking Coonigan. Well, Dan Campbell did all that faking around and in around all that mess he did, and then of course kicking offside kicks in games where there's like 20 minutes left in the game, and then giving up quick touchdowns, always doing the cute stuff like against the 49ers. They blew that game doing too much. No, the Heat aren't gimmicky. They just don't have no identity. The Dolphins aren't gimmicky. They get hurt quarterback and a coach that's in over his head. That's not gimmicky. I feel the same way about Cooling the game. I don't look at the Dolphins or the Heat as gimmicky. The Dolphins did do the Wildcat was gimmicky, but nothing that they're doing really. It's just that Tua can't stay healthy. Their defense is soft, and they got guys that don't fit, and they're basically an auction team. That's what I look at them as. I look at them as an auction team. That's my new term, Ted. Because when I was talking about Kobe White and the Chicago Bulls, I said that's an auction team. Zach Levine and DeMar and all them guys. You don't win nothing. You ain't average. You not good. You not great. You just an auction team. So we got to look around and see who we can pick up from your squad because you just auction. Climax. Better musicianship, better singing, better everything. Expose was had some cute songs. I liked the but Climax was the real deal. Songwriting. Uh, George Cinderella Irby is on Facebook and she could play and all that. It's no contest. Hit and miss with him. I like some of it. I respect him as a journalist, but when he's biased, and when he don't like somebody, you know. I like what he said about Bronny James. I give him that. Yeah, because cute songs is acts that you know they're never going to be more than what it is, and it was nice and fluffy. But there is no depth to it. Their fans know it too. They just don't want to admit it. Yeah, and they lost by 37. So what's the point? And then he came back and scored two against Chicago. Garbage time. Cute songs are that, but they're also like sappy cotton candy songs. It just sounds like someone's just singing it through like you know, just fluffy. Sometimes they are right. Some corny songs work. Some things are just too corny. When I can hear the arrangements, I can tell you exactly. But there's a big difference between that. No, there were some teenage high school songs that had some zip to them, and then there's stuff that's sappy. Arrhythmics only because Annie Lennox vocally and they had more of a better run. NXS had a good window, but the Arrhythmics had a better run. And I did like a lot of NXS, but the Arrhythmics had the better totality. Yeah, now looking forward to what they do from here on out before I get too excited. Yeah. Yeah. Except this is the thing. Britney Spears had a certain type of aura about her that she could have been big. And you didn't have a trip about it. She had a certain edge to her. Backstreet Boys had a couple decent written songs, but they weren't that deep. And New Kids on the Block had some steps and some catchiness, but they didn't really catch on. Yeah, that's what we got. I love the Human League. especially "Don't You Want Me." Only Human. They had some catchy stuff. I like their harmonies that they used to do. But I'm sure Hurley was mad. Um, Hot Chocolate. But I like the Silver Productions better though. But Hot Chocolate. They had more adult songs. They had him more. But the Silvers were good though. But I like what they did solo. Leon, of course, one of the greatest producers. So Hot Chocolate for me. And I do like the Silvers though. But I like them more for other things. Gotta be, I want to say the Hurricanes. It's always gonna be more, high potent offenses. Lisa Kojam, because Take Me Home was bigger than that. And I did like Everybody Dance, and I like Blueberry Gossip, but come on now. Lisa, all cried out, all that. Yeah, it's East Coast. I'm probably Ohio State. But I did like her voice, though. And she ended up working with Prince, Margie Cox. She had a bad deal, though, after she left Jesse, though. But they were catchy for about a couple weeks. Freddie Jackson, better career, better material. I like people's early era. We talked about him last night. You weren't on. It had his name came up, but Freddie got him beat. Freddie got him beat. I like people's early stuff better. But I'm going with Freddie. I'm going with Freddie, and I'm going with Lisa Kojam because let the beat hit him alone. I picked above. I picked. Uh, I like that excess, but they only hit me for like that one record run. They had a little bit of a run, but the Rhythmics had more with the songwriting. I told you I'm always gonna pick. I'm always picking the one with the better catalog. 9 times out of 10, Freddie moved me over Peebo, and I'm consistent with that. You ask anybody ask me, say, well, he always picks. I picks the songs. I don't pick, gotta go with the songwriting. Not a lot that separates the artists, but we got the right songs. Yeah, I pretty much been consistent with what I said. That would tear us apart. Hmm. Simpson. Marge could sing for tomorrow. Marge Cox. Stacey last song. All right, Deborah Laws, but she didn't have enough with the material. Like her voice, Stacey had better reach with her songs. But I do like Deborah Laws a lot. Her family very talented. Ronnie Laws, Herbert. They didn't have a run though to match Eurythmics though. I like Michael Hutcherson. Like I said, they had some cuts, but the Eurythmics had a longer run, more variety. And Excess was kind of trapped by one groove. Yeah, some good stuff. Okay, everybody feel free. Keep on hitting the like buttons up, hitting that poll question up. Thank you. Um, 9 Inch Nails. Trent Reznor, Move Me More. Love the sound, love the vibe. Boy's Head was cool, but I gotta give it to 9 Inch. Um, can you describe Melissa Morgan musical? She was basically double Junior Whopper Shaka. She had a decent voice, you know, had some feeling, you know. I like some of her songs. I like the Paradise, you know. I like a few of her songs. Did a good cover of Princess Do Me Baby. Made it sound gospel too. But kind of like Regina Bell, kind of like Mickey Howard. They double, triple Junior Whopper versions of Whitney. Could sing, but was gonna get lost in the shuffle. It wasn't distinctive in that picture, but I like some of her stuff though. I did. No, Denise Williams better than them. Denise Williams got better tone. Listen to The Lord is Amazing. Listen to her 1985 performance on the Grammys. Her gospel stuff. When she did Let's Hear for the Boy and she did Free, Denise Williams runs circles around most of them. Denise Williams better. I like Melissa Morgan. I love Denise Williams. There's a big difference. You watch me when I talk about certain artists. If I say love and like, what I mean. Atlantic Star. Star Point had a couple of jams. Atlantic Star had grooves, slow mid tempo. They had a better balance. Lewis Brothers were tight. Mm-hmm. it's like that. It's like that. It can be 47. You'll see that because of where you live. Yeah, it's not. It's not really up for discussion, for as I'm concerned. And Renee Diggs was a good singer, but it's not even close. Yep. Eric Benet, the singer, he did a video in Houston, and he said, "I wonder where you white folks come from. They got this different skin than we do." He was talking about how they were wearing shorts. I was cracking up. I said, "It's true. That's wherever you go, it's like that." You know, I still dress up like a mummy. Well, don't look at you crazy. You ain't sick. I tell them under 50 degrees, don't come look for me. That's my motto. So I am not gonna catch no unwanted calls. Green Day, catchier, and Billy Joel just kind of resonated more as a writer. Yeah, I think so. Weezer was cool, but Green Day kind of just hit it a little bit more. I just think the songwriting by Billy Joel. Summer calls. At least when it's cold, you got an excuse. When it's hot, you congested and you stuck, and you want to go out and do something and you can't. That's worse. That's way worse. Because you're trying to stay warm. You're trying to get warm to get it out of you, but you don't want to get warm because you get overheated. Don't go with Green Day. They are. And then you're frustrated and you can't go nowhere and you're stuck. It's cruel, unusual punishment. And that was the worst feeling to have a cold in the summer. CC Winans, she moved me more. I know Yolanda had a nice career, but I like. Yeah, well, you gotta sweat it out, and I put a lot of Vic Vapor Rub. It's got a lot of work to do. I like CC more. Yolanda had more crossover. I think she good, but CC got me on that one. I remember, like yesterday. And they all just said it was like some bad pizza. There's been different stories. But he played that game. If they don't win that game, they probably lose that series. Because Utah was having momentum. And remember, Jerry Sloan's coaching and the way they played back then was nip and tuck. It was just a matter of a little something, a little bit here and there. He needed every point. Oh, Jonas. Come on, man. Better singing. They got more memorable songs on R&B. Even though Gerald Levert did leave have an impact. was doing things. He was doing things. He came up big, but yeah, Jodeci for the W. I didn't have him in my GOAT conversation. I say he's one of the greatest players ever. I didn't have him. First of all, they all got some kind of shave, okay? Because Red Auerbach traded a year before the Celtics got Larry Bird out of college. Let that sink in. The Lakers got Magic. You think these things are just luck of the draw? Kind of like how Dave DeBusschere 40 years ago put into the Magic basket and pulled Patrick Ewing for the Knicks. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is these guys were almost predestined. Some of the stuff, that's what people could look at and almost think it's fake because, I mean, you think about how some of these guys, you know, you see certain things and it just, who's red? What red who? Red who? Good times for me. I did like the cast of what's happening. Now I do think that when it played, yeah, we had the cigar. No, but you gotta understand the politics involved. It's always something that when you think about it in hindsight. You be a scholar. You be like looking at things a little bit. Think about it, the Celtics and the Lakers got more than anybody else, and all that they can always push this agenda. You just gotta always be kind of suspicious of kissing the ring. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I said good times for this. More variety of character. I did like Ernest Thomas, and I did like Fred Berry was cool. They had talent. Mabel King, the one that played Roger's dad. They were, but what Good Times just hit harder. John Amos and Estero, come on now. He was the ultimate TV dad. JJ, however you come down with it, Kid Dynamite was a catchphrase. Just he's doing what he's allowed to do. He's not. He's doing what he's allowed to do. Sanford Son in the blowout. If you know me, you know I'm picking Sanford Son almost any show. That's my all-time favorite show on TV. I like That's My Mama, a young Ted Lane, Isaac on Love Boat, Clifton Davis, but Sanford and Son, Lamont, Fred, no, they doing what he's supposed to. More upside coming out. I want to say probably Morrison because he looked like he was going to be a continuation. Cooper Flag is just like a continuation because they got this hype for he got some spring in him and what he moves. I like Vesta. She was a double junior whopper, Shaka Khan. I liked her. She was funny. She was witty. She was attractive. She could sing, and she had personality. That's kind of hard to say if I had to pick one. I think I did like one with the probably the courtroom. If you remember when he looked at that judge, he asked the white officer. He said, "How come I see all the N word?" That had me rolling, but that was real. That was one of the most realest Star Trek for me. Star Trek. But I did like Battlestar Galactica. I think Lauren Green, but I like Star Trek better. Martin. that's not up for discussion. Jamie Foxx, it was decent, but come on, Martin was like must see. He was on his way to being, that's when he was doing TV, film, stand up. I was peaking prime. He could do no wrong. I remember that. Give me a one if you can still hear me, because I've been on for 2 hours. Yeah, I like certain episodes. Okay, good, thank you. There's certain episodes, but that courtroom is probably my favorite. Ted asked me, thank you. That courtroom when he asked the judge, he said, "How come you got all these N words and you ain't got nowhere to wipe?" And I cracked up because it was so true. They were, and you know what? She was unscripted. He hired her like he knew her, and she used to work with Rudy Ray Moore. And Wanda Page did all kind, and she used to do that fire in her mouth. She did all kinds of stuff. They were unscripted. Her, Bubba, Grady, no acting. They were all strict. What you saw, you'll never see that today. But they were straight off the street. Yep. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on that though. I'll probably do like 10 more minutes. I've been on for 2 hours. Oh yeah, because they were playing the dozens because they were snapping on folks. That was some real comedy. That wasn't no TV. That was real. You know. But and he was always working his routine, his Vegas routine, which is proof that you can do multitask. Because he was considered the most rawest comedian at the time for his time. And he was doing TV and he made it work. Yep. They had so many catchphrases. Oh yeah, because they were one up each other. I mean, that's how talented they were. I mean, they weren't laughing. They were snorting that powder. So yeah, so that was up. It was some wild times back then, yo. Wow, wild. Yeah, and also he was fighting against uh, Norman Lear and all of them. He did everything, 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 and he was Diddy parties at his own back then. It was wild. When I say wild, what does wild mean? He did it all. Yeah, and that's why he left. If you remember, he took a leave of absence, and they were underpaid. They went through the pile. I'm telling you. Mhm. Yeah, he was funny. He's one of my favorite comedians ever. I was a huge fan of his. Mr. Jefferson or Red Fox? As far as the TV dad, it's Red Fox. But I did like Sherman. I did like George Jefferson's character, but it's Red. The father, the dynamic was so accurate and so funny. But I did like George Jefferson. I remember that. He had Muhammad Ali on there, Jackson 5. I remember. He did. He was very show business cat. He did the roast with Don Rickles and all that with Frank Sinatra and all that. He did all that. All that. That's how TV was back then. You had to be all around entertainer back then. Plus, Red was a musician too. They did all of it. When they say show business, you had to show all your business and then show all your business. So those cats was all battling each other, and Richard Pryor and Paul Mooney wrote on Sanford and Son, and it's a lot. I think we kind of slowing down now. I think I'll call it a night right now. Been on for 2 plus, and appreciate when it came through. Glad to hear about it. I might come back tomorrow, but it'll be earlier though. So then Bill Cosby. I like D. Gregory a lot. I like him philosophy, but Cosby was a trailblazer. He just hit, and he was able to dominate TV. And D. Gregory was bad, but Cosby comedian. Thank you so much. You asked us some great questions. I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate all that. Yes, appreciate you and everybody. Thank you everybody that came through. Questions and answers, and also the polls and the streams. Appreciate you all. Peace and have a good night. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free.